Okay, here we are in Surreal. We gotta do some fiberglassing, and there's some access hole in the unit. Across. That's the piece I gotta clean and sand. Wipe it down real good and dry. Get some denatured alcohol and acetone. And I cut some mat and lay up some fiberglass over it. Over here is a bunch of wires. I'm going to clean up these wires after I glass everything. And I'm going to see if that unit will fit right there nice and neat. I think if I tidy them wires up and round them a little better, it'd be a perfect spot for the unit to gain access. Plus it's out of the elements, out of the engine room, so it's not so hot on it. And also there's a nice spot there as well that I can connect it to, and it'll sit in there nicely. I can move them water lines out of the way slightly. I can take the ducting off the air duct here, and I can fit everything right in there. And then when my connections come out, I can just tie right into my compressor. I can mount the control box right on the side. The thermostat will go back outside. Or I can mount the control box on this wall. There's plenty of space. And everything's nice and neat. And it'll look good. And hopefully it works good. Alright, I'll film a little more and after I get done cleaned up and that and get ready to glass. Out. Okay, here we are. I'm getting ready to mix up some wet system. This is a two-part epoxy resins, as you can see on the cans. You got the hardener resin and the resin. Here I got some bi-ply mat is what it's called. This is actually the fiberglass that I'm going to be using. What I'll do is I'm going to mix up the wet system. I'm going to mix it up good. I'm going to brush it on the repair spot first, and then I'm going to cut these little guys in the strip sizes that I need. I'll wet them is what it's called with the resin, and then I'll stick these onto the box, and then I'll roll them on there so the air's out of it and it's tight. So this is the roller that I'm going to be using. It's just a small little roller, and that'll roll the air out of the mat, and that'll help it bond together when I put multiple layers on there. And I'll show you as I go along. I have some time to work with this. It's a slow hardener, so I don't have to rush real quick, and it'll be good for this application. Alright, I'll get back with you on the next project. Step, I should say. Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm wetting the mat that I cut. I'm going to make sure it's all nice and wet, it's all the same color. So all the white, you want it to go away. It's actually what they call starch in the fiberglass. What that does is it keeps it so when you put the epoxy on like I'm doing, soaks all the way through the material and it becomes very hard. So real quick, I'll show you the first layer I put on the box real quick, and then I'm going to put this second layer on. And there's the first layer. That's what it looks like. Now I'm going to put a second layer. And then I'm going to roll it all together, and then we're going to let it kick off. And that'll seal that opening on that box, and it'll look just like the rest of the box. And it'll be airtight, watertight, so the ice bin will stay nice and cold. Alright, let me put them other pieces on. Alright, so that's what it looks like when it's all finished. and now it's just time for it to dry. Came out pretty nice. Gonna be nice and stringent when it's dry, so when I go ahead and put the new plates in, as you'll see as I continue on this project, when I drill through it. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the little cleanup here and move on to the next batch. Alright. Okay, these are the flat plates that we're going to be installing outside. I'll show you that in a minute. These are called cold plates. Here's the condensing unit I was talking about earlier, where I want to put it on the floor, where I was just glassing that in. And then this is the control boxes and a thermostat. But these are the flat plates that I got to be installed. So, alright. There's two, got to go on one on each side. Alright. See here, I made a template of what they look like, because I got to fit them now, because I got to drill holes in here. I'll show you, so I can slide them in so I can make my connections. So I did it out of a sturdy piece of cardboard. But granted, these are the hard pipes, but I'm going to have to get this in there and slide that through the back side where I just glassed on each side. Gotta remove this ladder so I can work. And that won't be today. That'll be installed. Today was glassing that in and dry fitting these plates. Alright. Here we have the fish box. These are where the new plates are going to be going in. So, I'm going to drill one hole here, one hole here, one here, one here. And that plate's going to mount in here. So, let's see how this is going to work. And I'll get back. Let's see if I can set you up here. I don't know if you can see or not. Alright. So this is a plate. As you can see, the copper's going to have to go in there. Yep, you have to drill holes first, and then you have to cut that copper down. Alright, there's the template. So as you can see, I gotta drill my holes so I can get my copper lines in there. So that'll be here and here. I'll come up a little higher, about there. I'll put a block underneath it to pick it up. And he wants it up as high as I can. So as high as I can with hitting screws and mounting is what I can give them. So that's just gonna be a little tricky. Hopefully I don't have to make the holes too big, but I can always fill them. And that's the next step, to get that in there and start working with the condensing unit. But it's gonna look good, and it'll have a nice freezer ice box for his bait. Because as you can see, I had to cut the other line set off because there's a leak inside of the molded coppers. There actually was original that you cannot get to without cutting and making this whole box over again. And that's a lot of money trying to repair this. Alright, you can see here, getting the skid unit inside, and then still gotta tidy and zip all these wires up, change a couple. See, I drilled my holes there and over there. Go out and I'll show you what I did in the box. Alright, there's the 4 holes I drilled. And the new line set's gonna go in there. Now I got one small issue. These line sets are too long for me to get them all the way through the box. So I'm going to have to cut them down. So I got these SB1s, 3/8 couplings. I can get the box open. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is figure out with my paper template here how long I can make them so this slides in, so I can mark my holes so I can drill to get ready for all the mounting screws. Alright, so that's going to get cut off to where I can get that in there, and then I'll measure out how long I need so I can make the rest of my connections to join these two plates together and then connect it to the condenser. So I'll show you little by little as I keep going. Alright, thanks. As you can see, these boxes are full of water from over the years of the leaking. Alright, I cut them down and I got them into the hole. So that'll be able to slide in there now. I got the mounting bolts on. And I got two swedge locks that I'm going to put on there, and then I'm going to put them in the hole. These are supposed to do very well, and it's the only really way I'm not going to be able to get them in there, being that long. So, alright, plates are in. Now I just got to seal the holes up with some foam. I tried putting some on this one, but I'm going to take it off. I'll redo a little bigger one. They need foamed in. And one cut. Not too bad. Alright. Here we are. So that'll be in at the bottom, out of the top, into the bottom, coming out of the top. That's going to be my suction line. So this side here is going to be my discharge side. That's going to come and wrap around and tie into the accumulator receiver dryer. Suction side's down there. So I got to come up and come over and tie it in there. And then once I mount the skid where I want, clean up this ball of wires here. I gotta move everything over a little bit, but I gotta put some chafing gear around one of these water lines. But probably get to that tomorrow. My hardest part was getting them plates in and starting this plumbing. So I got two more connections to fit here. And then I'm gonna start doing a cleanup. And tomorrow's another day. See, I had to take the air conditioner apart, take the ducting work off so I can crawl inside of there. Blanket on top, so I had a little cushion and I don't get cut up by the ring. So put my last two connections in and clean this place up and head back to the shop. Tomorrow's another day. Alright, so far everything's going good. Let's keep it going. Alright, here's my metering device. That's where they're tying to. And this is my suction line on the top. And that's gonna go down there. So tomorrow I'll cut this and figure out what size I want. where to locate it, and then I gotta insulate it all, and then it'll be pretty. So right now I'm gonna put the air conditioner back together and start my cleanup, and I'll see you on the next lesson for tomorrow. Okay, unfortunately I was not able to put the condensing unit in behind the settee. I thought about two reasons. Water supply going to it. It's sharing off with two other AC systems. It is a little high of a run. So I mounted it back where it was down here. I have a lot of room. So tomorrow we gotta pull some wires, put some copper lines through that hole, nice and neat. Come around, feed the unit, and then hook up the water circuit. I'm gonna go back to the shop now. I need some benders, and I gotta modify the electrical panel. It's gonna sit right there on a stand. And tomorrow morning we'll go ahead and get her pressure checked. All right. Alright, you can see I put the box in. I have the new fittings in there. I'm going to fill the holes here shortly. Everything's nice and snug. Looks good. Pressure checking the unit at 100, good. So far we're holding fine, which is very happy. I'm just going to get in there and tidy up the lines. Let me finish my insulation. And then I'll fill all the holes up with the spray foam up there and in the box. I'm going to be using sealing gum for the inside of the box, and I'll show you what it looks like after I'm finished. Alright, that's what it looks like, the sealing gum on it. So when I insulate the inside with spray foam, it will not push it out, and it also helps make a barrier protection for the cold and an insulator. Alright, there's the insulation all wrapped up, cleaned up, and I foamed everything in. She's up and she's running like a champ. It's time to clean up. .26 degrees, started off at 96 degrees. Put it in there, put a gallon of water, and a couple ice bags. See that flat plates are nice and nice. So she's coming down nicely. Alright, in here you can see the insulation. Completed. I'll clean up the foam after it dries tomorrow when I come back to check on it. The way it was before, but I'll clean it up a little more, cut some excess off. And that's the insulation of the freezer box. Thank you.